Everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Bozmos2, where we are playing Chaco. This is turn 5. Let's jump into things. Okay, so we have lost a crippled unit on our march from Aquesta to Finica. Just going to be one of our regular unit deal. We've got 2 battles. Jump into the one at Finica. So we've got our little force of Chacoan archers, some Chacoan spear warriors, some Katsina warriors, and we are up against quite a few heavy infantry, actually. A fair number of heavy cav as well. So this is kind of sketch. This is a lot of heavy infantry. Normally heavy infantry is not too big of a problem, especially when it's only in like small groups. But this is kind of a big amount of heavy infantry. So this is going to be a good test of, do our Katsina warriors hold out well against larger amounts of troops, right? Against, these aren't necessarily, I wouldn't call them dangerous troops, but this is a dangerous amount of a decent troop. Also, we're kind of in a rough scenario because these cav are... Oof, they were getting close to rushing into these archers, but we do catch them. We destroy the cav, it seems like, relatively swiftly. Yeah. Decent. And then the... Oh no, this Katsina is all on his own. We get hit by the heavy infantry. And actually, yeah, this Katsina is in a bad way. He gets surrounded. He's being flanked. His harass penalty isn't too bad, but we can already kind of see though, like he took a hit, but look, all these people around him get entangled. I wonder if we could see which one is this one. We have no real way of knowing, I guess. So we did like a unit overview. Try to find the one that actually has damage, so it'd be this one. Right? So actually, so we're getting some repels, right? Versus things. That's relatively interesting. Or, well, I don't know that we're getting repels. We're trying to repel. Okay, yeah, we got a repel. Was repelled here. Was repelled. Was repelled. Was repelled. Was repelled. That's nice. That's good. That's awesome, actually. So in between repelling and which is going pretty well. In between repelling our entangle, right? Our vine shield effect, the temper flesh and regeneration. We've got a lot of survivability here. And our guys actually hit pretty hard. Penetrating magic attack with decent damage. Pretty good. Are we going to... Is this guy going to get surrounded down and killed, though, I think is the question. It looks like the answer is no. And that's pretty awesome. Yeah, just can't be beat. Just cannot be beat. He did take a really big hit there at the end, though. Like a 13, like probably an exploding dice or something there. But now he has a limp, and that is unfortunate. Limps are no bueno. It's pretty cool, though. We win. Katsina warriors deal 39 kills. That's pretty nice. Getting experience on these early Katsinas is going to be nice. We can see already that they're repelling well. That's good. Getting more experience means that repel chance is going to be higher, right? It's a very nice effect. It really keeps them safe, honestly. So, very cool. We lost 3 of our Chacoan spear warriors, and I think the 4th one fled. So the army is now only Chacoan archers and Katsina warriors. Cool. And that was a lot of heavy infantry. That was a lot of heavy infantry. So, very nice. All right, next up we have a battle in the Nidian range, and we were a little hesitant on attacking here because we, still concerned about bumps, still concerned that this isn't like a great province, it's got weird connections, but we should be able to best it very easily. Drive off the cab really quickly. It actually took us a while to get enraged there, but now we are enraged. Easy kills coming out here, it seems. Such high attack value. 26 attack value. We just got our second pip from experience. The 26 attack value is really, really good. Damn. Okay, cool. So we took Nidian range, and then we have an unexpected event in Chaco. Ugh. Minus province income. That's never fun. So a series of unfortunate events have redirected important trade routes to other lands. That is unfortunate. Province income events are some of the best and some of the worst in my opinion, because you don't realize how good or bad they can be, because it's just 10 province income. But this is 100 gold that we lose over the course of the next 10 turns, right? It's 1,000 gold we lose, over the course of they add up if you have them repeatedly. It's one of the reasons why I really like fortune scales, is because getting these can be really nice. And it's one of the reasons why I really hate misfortune scales. But it is what it is. All right, so a couple of interesting pieces of gear. We're going to go information. We're going to go over movements first, and then we'll talk about some of the new things that we've discovered, recruitment, etc., etc. So we are moving from Nidian range down into Amiradon. I was interested. We have Bogarus here, right? They have taken Anglavania. We know they have taken Vongar. We know obviously Bogarus is here. We don't know whether or not they have taken Jereb yet. I had the idea. I kind of want to attack into Belmar, into 326. However, we can now see down here into Ragdan. We can see someone else has scales down here. And not knowing who this someone else is, we can also see like scales have moved in here. So it's possible that they are moving up in this direction, or even that they've spawned in like 307 or 258. I still think it's probably likely that it's down here somewhere. Although I think maybe 307 is likely as well. The only thing about 307 is well, no, I think 307 is probably relatively likely. So I'm concerned, right? If we go down here, we're actually like really overextending, and getting really, really greedy, right? If we have this border, and we kind of like come over here east towards the sea, right? Towards Assad, etc. This is still a respectable border. And it doesn't immediately... If we take this is, for me, it would basically be like a declaration of war as far as like, if I were Bogarus. It's like, look, at this point, you're trapping me in, right? If we look at the area, the space he has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 provinces. If we were to take Belmar, right? If we were to take Belmar, he wouldn't be able to move eastward into any of these other provinces over here. He could move up into High Peaks from Anglavania, right? But just in his like immediacy, that would only be 7 provinces. So I don't want to... I want to pressure him, but I also don't want to immediately have basically like, here's war, right? And have him then start to negotiate with neighbors and immediately make war on me right out of the gate, right? So I think it's going to be better to go for something like a Amiradon instead. Amiradon is an easy hop for us. Then I think we can jump just eastward, right? I think that's going to be relatively good for us. We could even eventually finish up in Zaburia, depending on how our dominion expands. So fingers crossed there. So next target is Amiradon. We took... We'll talk about that here in a second. We are moving from Finica into Kingdom of Dara. I kind of, like, I have mixed emotions on this. Like, so there's the argument for expanding aggressively away from your cap, right? And then when you hit someone, then you know, move in a direction. But there are a lot of land features here, environment features, between the multitude of rivers, the weird choke points on this map. I say weird, the interesting choke points on this map, the mountain ranges, etc. It kind of makes for an odd environment. I'm somewhat interested in immediately rushing up towards something like Umidor, right? Because I would love to take that and hold that, right? I'd love to take Zaburia, I'd love to take Northia, because they're connection points. But at the same time, it's also a matter of efficient expanding. And if I you know, were to jump into Wolven Plain, I guess I could go like Kunaral and then Umidor, and then start cutting over and getting these spots later. But right now, I think I'm going to go, because places like Kingdom of Dara and Wolven Plain are obviously so valuable, so income rich. We're going to hit Kingdom of Dara, then probably into Wolven Plain. And then it's going to be a matter of, have we found anyone else? Do we have the liberty to just take all of this as we desire? Because then we might just march up into this peninsula and start taking stuff. Who knows, right? It's an interesting environment, so we're kind of playing it a little safe. Kind of what's happening. Here's what it is. So we're gonna do that. We are taking our pretender, or not pretender, our prophet and Mong 1. We want to set this, I think, to hold and fire. So that we have less of a chance of those potential issues with cavalry. And I think we're pretty good to go from there. We are moving our scout onto Aldgold. Primarily, we didn't find anyone up here. I anticipated finding someone up here. Or the signs of someone up here, but we have found nothing. So we kind of wasted our time with our scout. We could have been like turn 3. So we could have done turn 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. We could have already been on Aldgold, but now it's turn 5. So we're going to move on to Aldgold and hopefully find something in the near vicinity. If not, we might move into a couple of places around Aldgold, or we might start teleporting from Aldgold to other directions. We might go from Aldgold over to Ashington to try to see if I can't ascertain who is up in this direction and where. That is a option that we could definitely take. We'll see how it goes. Recruitment-wise, we're continuing the recruitment of our second Hmong Katsina. We are getting 4 Katsina warriors this turn. That's going to give us 6 Katsinas for expansion next turn, which we are probably going to launch into Kevin. I think that is a likely scenario. We still don't see anyone's dominion off in this direction, but we don't really have a big range of sight, so that is something to watch out for. We have an influx of gold this turn, as we can see, because we didn't have to purchase or recruit a commander this turn. We did that last turn, and we have the holdover now. And we can't really recruit more units because we're out of recruitment points, so that's fine. This is kind of what we want to happen anyways. We want to get a bunch of fat provinces and start boosting our income, and then you know, like, next turn, we could turn this into our first Wuya. We're probably not gonna. We're probably gonna go for some researchers. some early researchers. But turn... This is 5, so it'll be turn 6 when we hit Dara. It'll be turn 7 when we hit Woven Plain. We could potentially start building a fort in Woven Plain on turn 8, which would be pretty decent. We could be building a fort in Smacia, I don't know, this one, or Dardania or something like that. We've got options, right? Same for like Zaburia by this point. So we're in this phase where we're not spending this gold, and that's okay that we're not spending this gold. We still have early power from it. And we're gonna translate that into, hopefully by turn 12, on average what I was doing with tests was being able to hit 20 plus provinces with expansion and having between 2 to 4 forts going up as well. And I'm gonna say this, so far this might just be the area that we are in. We just might have gotten lucky, but I think it's probably designed. There seem to be like a lot of farmlands in this game, which is cool. I like that. I like fat income. These are higher income provinces than I was used to seeing in my test games, because I was just doing test games in like randomly generated maps, you know. So yeah, that's a somewhat interesting scenario there. That's probably because of the differences between early age and middle age and stuff like that. What else? Oh, other interesting things. Since we do have some disposable income right now, we are recruiting scouts. We have a scout province here in Zox. We also have a scout province here in Nidian Range. So we're getting a scout in Nidian Range. We're getting a scout in Zox. And we're going to hopefully be using those scouts in the near future to probably explore up here. Unless we take our Scout 1. The hope is once we get up here with Scout 1, we're going to find someone, and then we don't have to worry about staying up here. We can teleport over to Ashington and use that. Use Scout 1 to go there. But if that doesn't happen, then, you know, we'll probably take the Scout from Zox up in that direction. My preference, I think, is to take the Scout from Zox down into this direction. So into Good Old Woods, into Hesperia, into Yanel, or 307, and then onwards to kind of try to get an eye on what's going down here. And then the scout in Nidian Range, I'm actually really considering sending over to Wake, and then exploring up this direction. Also, now that we have taken Nidian Range, right, we have slightly extended information. We can see this is Pistina. Can't see any Dominion or anything like that up there, though. We can see this is Assad. Can't see any Dominion or anything, though. But the very big thing that we can see is we can see names adjacent to Wase now, right? We have Fostir up here. We have Muforth here. We have Zemink here. And we have Therados right here. Oh no. Oh, ghosties. No, ghosties, please. So this is why there are death scales in Wase. I think I've said this name differently every time I've pronounced it. Whatever. So this is interesting and kind of bad at the same time. We don't have good underwater options. We don't have a lot of water, period. We don't have a lot of death, period. So we're not really good at fighting underwater. We would have a very hard time rooting Therados out. So that is an issue. The other issue is that while our Sacreds have magic weapons, right? None of the rest of our units have magic weapons. Our God does not have magic weapons, so if he were to try to bump with something that has ethereal, he would actually have a bad time of it. Until we can get him some equipment, he would have a bad time of it. So that's a problem. And one of the options that we have for potentially flexing our might, I say early on, but we're going to have crap research for a very long time in this game. So this early on is a relative statement. One of the options for early power flexing that we can do is summon bears. Because bears work really well with the bless that we have, right? We have a temper flesh, regeneration bless. Great bears come out as a lot of sacred units. They hit relatively hard. They have decently high health. They're not like the greatest thing in the world, but they'll do good, right? But they won't have magic weapons, so that's a problem. So that's an issue. Also, I mean, we just don't have. We have priest 3s, but these priest 3s are extremely expensive and slow to recruit. We do have Chaco sun priests, which are pretty decent, right? They're very cheap tier 1 priests, so they can spam banishments. That would work. But other than that, we don't have like a tier 2 priest or anything like that that's decently priced. And we don't have great evocations or anything like that. So kind of a rough matchup for us. Hopefully we can get someone in their area to just deal with them. Maybe there's someone on this island. Who knows, right? Maybe down here in like 163 or something like that, right? That seems like a decent location. Or maybe, you know, there's probably, if there's Therados here, there's probably someone, you know, over here in Underwater Nation, somewhere in this pond, somewhere up here, right? There's probably at least 2 or 3 Underwater Nations on this planet, I would assume, right? Otherwise, there's got to be at least 2. I would say probably needs to be 3, because otherwise there's a lot of water on this planet for just 2 nations. So hopefully that can be a thing that they, you know, the underwater nations just deal with each other. Fingers crossed. I don't really have anything else, I think, that is too terribly big of a deal. We can check mercenaries. This is Phasia has picked up the Renegade Chief. So people are definitely going for the mercenaries. That's interesting. We've got some Lemurian Centurions on the Hall of Fame here already. I'm pretty sure this guy just comes. Yeah, he has no kills. This is the leader of the mercenaries that Phasia just hired. He just goes on there basically because there's no one else on there, I suppose. But this is kind of interesting that there are 2 Lemur Centurions from Lemuria already on the Hall of Fame. That's like, uh-oh. That's not a good sign. That means likely what Lemuria is doing is using a bless, like a decent bless, to expand with the Lemurian Centurions. So that's an interesting route. I don't think Lemuria is on this planet. I think they're on Azalun. I could be wrong though. I don't know. Regardless, that is all of the interesting information I think that we have for this turn. We're also searching. We're starting to site search with our Sun 1 Chacoan Sun Priest. Want to get site searching early in the game. We've got a couple of things that we need that will require fire and will require wind, air. So that's gonna be, we're gonna have to get lucky with some Chacoan Sun Priests, and we're gonna have to get lucky probably with some Bozmos2, randoming air. We can also get air randoms on our Wuyas, but yeah. Be interesting. All right, that's gonna be it for the turn. Thanks for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.